right place. Welcome to Flames Central. Alongside Rhett McGibbon, I'm Matt Warner. We have a fun show for you today.
Yeah, we got a great feature about a former Flames Liberty football player. Plus, we unveil a new segment with Ritchie McKay, but we start with Liberty football.
Yeah, wins have not come easily lately for the Flames, and the struggles would continue this past Saturday at Old Dominion. It was an absolute monsoon for much of the night, and both teams would have a hard time hanging on to the football in this one. There were 7 total turnovers in this game. The Liberty defense doing a nice job. They would force 4 of them, including 3 in the red zone. But after a scoreless first quarter, ODU would find the end zone twice in the second. Colton Johnson, a couple of touchdown tosses, and ODU would take a 14-0 lead to the break. Jump to the second half. Liberty looking for just anything positive offensively, and as has been the case for much of the season, Dante Lee Jr. would provide the spark. Lee hauls in a 53-yard grab. He's become a great downfield threat, and that would set up a 4-yard Juju Gray touchdown plunge, making it a 14-7 game. Same score, just a one-score game now, early fourth quarter. 4th and short for Liberty, a huge play. They run it with Ethan Houck. He gets stuffed, comes up just that short. Turnover on downs, and wouldn't you know it, 2 plays later, ODU with the dagger. A 55-yard score on the throw to Ja'Cory Thomas. That would pretty much seal the deal. The Flames fall 21-7, their 4th straight loss as they drop to 1-4 on the year.
It's the same story, different record, so to speak. Like we're put ourselves in positions as bad as we're playing. We're not playing good. As bad as we're playing, or have opportunities to beat some good teams in the fourth quarter, and we're just not good enough to overcome beating ourselves a lot. So credit to them. I think they got a good team. But I thought our guys, man, they were gritty today. They fought and gave us a chance, to have a chance to win that game there in the fourth, and we're just not good enough to do it.
Another disappointing loss, but you know who can find the ray of sunshine in a thunderstorm? Joe Yock. It's time for a little Yock talk. You're taking a couple of plays. Listen, it's not as easy as you might think to find some positives in these ball games.
They're there.
You've managed to do it. Let's start on the defensive side.
Not easy to find positive. The Flames defense gave up 21 points.
That's true.
In college football 2025, if you give up 21 points, you better win the football game.
Force 4 turnovers as well.
Force 4 turnovers,
Yeah.
red zone turnovers. Let's stop. Ray of positive.
Okay.
We got all kinds of positives.
Let's talk about one of those positives, and let's start on the defensive side for the Flames.
I'm going to tell you what. You got 2 guys right here that are playing hard and doing their fundamental discipline, because when you look at Joe Carter and 11 tackles, 15 tackles, I don't know what it was, forced fumbles. I mean, the guy's
all over the field.
The guy's all over the field. When you can rally around a guy like Joe Carter, you've got a fantastic opportunity. When you take a look at this play, and if you watch him right here, the free safety comes over the top. Joe Carter comes here. Now, they don't get caught up in the soup.
Right.
They play over the top. They don't take the fake, run up the middle, let the quarterback walk in. They get to right there, force the outside in. We're going outside, work the outside. I'm coming from the outside, not letting them walk over here.
Right.
I'm coming from the outside, forcing them back in, and then watch Joe Carter. Watch Joe Carter. He's scrapping, head boom, on the ball. Down by, what do I got to do? I got to kick it. I'm gonna kick it.
Maybe
I'm gonna
it
kick
crossed
it
the
loose.
goal
I
line.
don't care.
It doesn't matter.
It's right there. They reviewed it. That's a fumble. Joe Carter sticks his hat down. Now let it roll. Just let it roll. Pick the ball up.
Somebody.
Pick the ball. Somebody pick it up. Helmet's coming off. Helmet's. I'm still running. Who cares? The play's dead. I'm still fighting.
Love that.
You gotta love that. And guess what? Here's the score: 14-0.
Right.
The Flames just turned it over on a terrible play. It's 14-0, and the defense is still fighting,
kept them in
scratching,
it.
clawing, and keeping you in the game. You don't think there's fight in these guys?
Yeah.
That's fight right there.
I like that.
Woo!
The kick, they call that useful.
Useful.
And
It's
then
useful. Very
you use
useful.
good footwork
Very
there.
useful.
All right, now, offensively, it was another story. Under 80 yards passing for a second straight week,
That
but
hurts.
you found a play you liked, a downfield shot. Tell us about it.
It's just like last week. It's just like last week's Yacht Talk, right? When you take a look at this play right here.
Yeah.
Watch Merninger. Watch Merninger. As we go on right here, we're cruising through. Here comes the play action fake. Now pause it right there.
Okay.
Right. Look at that. Look at that pocket.
Is that a pocket?
That's a pocket. Look at that. We're going to draw that pocket.
Yeah.
We're going to keep drawing the
No,
pocket.
okay. Well, that's
a
probably
pocket
enough.
right there.
Yeah.
Okay, now watch Merninger, what he does right here. Watch what he does. Pause it right there.
Climbs in it, huh?
He's going to climb up into the pocket. Climbs up into the pocket. Okay, guard starts to lose his man, but what does Merninger do? He puts his face in the fan, Puts it back, and look at that right there. Guy
Goodness.
barreling down on him, steps him in the pocket, puts his face in the fan, delivers the deep down throw to Dante Lee.
He has been a bright spot for this team offensively.
Bright spot. But Merdinger, I mean, you got to respect the guy. And that's my whole point. That's my whole point. Until we get Ethan Vasco 100% healthy, Merdinger's our guy.
Ride with him.
And in my mind, I think I've watched a few, it's not perfect, but give him the keys to the car, let him get all the prep work, and ride with this guy and see what happens. Because you know what, Flames Nation? We don't have to cry in our Cheerios, right? Because we still got a Conference USA champ. That's still out there.
It's still out there.
It's still out there. So you got to play defense, keep playing hard. Offense, get on a roll. Go with Merdinger, get on a roll. And then who knows? Why not keep fighting? Why not keep? You might hold that Conference USA championship still up one day, and then everybody smiles and giggles at that point.
We shall see. Big one coming up this week, midweek. This next Wednesday on the road at UTEP. Got to find a way to get this one if you want to have a chance for some interesting games down the stretch in conference.
Yeah, and I think with UTEP, obviously they're struggling also, and then they had a quarterback transfer come in that had threw a bunch of interceptions. So I think our defense right now is licking their chops. We shall see. So now offense, let's score some points to get this thing rolling.
Need to get it done, Rhett.
So with the calendar turning to October, that means it's time for midweek CUSA football. Liberty's next game is coming on Wednesday on the road at UTEP. Both teams are 1-4 and desperate to get back into the win column. You can watch it at 8 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. All right, following God's leading, even when it doesn't make sense, is not always easy. Just ask former Liberty football player Zach Duke. Coming to Liberty was a step of faith in and of itself for Zach. But as you're about to see, that was nothing compared to what God would ask of him next.
God, I can't go another day like this. Something has to change or I'm going to completely break. And so I prayed a dangerous prayer. And he answered it in a way I never would have expected.
This story is proof that it's never too late to chase your dreams.
Zach, welcome to the show.
From backyard games to the bright lights to the big leagues, Zach Duke.
Zach Duke.
Zach Duke.
Where you been hiding this guy?
The Central Plains of rural Indiana are home to former Liberty wide receiver Zach Duke and his family.
Here we go. First one's for you right here.
I'm a farm boy. Indiana is all I've ever known. I'm an 8th generation farm kid. My family's literally been here since the Revolutionary War.
Zach grew up in a Christian home where evangelizing was always a big part of their daily lives.
My mom and dad would take me out sharing the gospel from a young age. So I loved Jesus even before I repented. He gave me a heart for people from an early age of evangelizing, sharing the gospel. I got to do that in my elementary school. We started a Bible study and started seeing our friends come to faith.
Growing up, Zach was a gifted athlete, and after high school, he would go on to be a standout player for the Anderson University football team. But when his freshman season came to an end, God would need Zach to make a change.
The Lord just put in my spirit, I want you to go to Liberty. And I just prayed about it and was like, I love my teammates. I love my major. I love this environment. And the Lord would just not let it rest.
Then late in the summer of 2009, Zach would take a leap of faith and leave Indiana for Lynchburg, Virginia.
Honestly, I was tearing up, crying along the way. I'm like, is this the right decision? I'm leaving everything good for something the Lord's telling me to do. And I show up on campus, not enrolled. They don't know I'm coming, don't even know where to go.
Zach ultimately enrolled and had plans to leave football in the past until God put it on his heart to reach out to the Liberty coaching staff.
I remember I emailed him at 11 at night, but he emailed me back 7 minutes later at 11:07 p.m.
That quick response by then Liberty head coach Danny Rocco led to a private tryout, which in turn led Zach to joining the team.
Looking back, the coaches even told me I was just doing this because Coach Rocco told me to. I had no plan to bring you on the team. But the moment I met you, I just knew there was something different.
The offense has really put on a show.
Zach realized he had an incredible opportunity, not just to learn more about football, but to share the gospel with his teammates.
And I said, hey, whoever wants to stay for an extra 30 minutes to an hour, we're just going to have a Bible study. We're going to get in the Word, be discussion-based, and we're all just seek Jesus together. And God used that powerfully. I saw several of my teammates get called to ministry through that, saw people give their life to Jesus through that.
Zach would receive numerous accolades for his work on and off the field, and as a result was named the 2011 Rock Royer Mac Rivera Award winner.
It's just like, Jesus, you're amazing. You're so kind when I take these massive leaps of faith to confirm it by just showing your goodness to me, undeserved goodness.
You don't play games with my heart.
Zach would also meet his wife Megan at Liberty, and after graduating, the couple would start a life together. Megan would go on to work as a Christian artist, and Zach in marketing and missions.
I've traveled now to 42 countries, training local laborers to make disciples, start simple churches, and network together in simple churches. So to me, that's all I've ever wanted to do, and all I ever still want to do is just see God's glory come on the earth.
Profess your faith, and baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
During this time I'm doing all this traveling, I end up getting really, really sick. Like a gastro problem where every single day I'm sick, nauseous, throwing up, and probably going on for 5 or 6 years. It got so bad that mentally I got to the place where doctors said, you're gonna be like this the rest of your life.
Every night going to bed and he's just in pain and agony. I mean, the multiple ER visits that we'd had to go to because of just his health. You know, after a while, like when you're not feeling good, that affects everything. You can't fully operate in your calling when you are sick. I noticed just him feeling discouraged, kind of losing his fire and his drive. That was difficult.
I got wildly out of shape. That put me in a horrible sense of like mental and workout habits. And I'm doing my best just to hang in there, just to trust God, just to worship, just to pray. Like I'm fighting, like truly fighting. I finally got to this place where I'm sitting in a coffee shop in Virginia and I'm like, God, I can't go another day like this. Like something has to change or I'm going to completely break. And so I prayed a dangerous prayer. I'm like, Jesus, do not let me move from this chair until you bring that fire back inside of me. And he answered it in a way I never would have expected. He first reminded me of sports and how when I was at Liberty, I was at my height of discipline, of habits, of sleep, of study, of mental clarity, of time management, everything. And I'm like, God, I can't play football anymore. Like that ship has sailed. And then I just heard soccer. I'm like, no, that can't be it, God. Like I've never played the sport before.
Pass and move, pass and move.
And then I thought, okay, well, if I'm gonna do this, God, I'm not just going to try to get better. I need to shoot for the hardest, most crazy, most bizarre goal possible. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna train to make it to the World Cup. Delusional? Absolutely. Possible 0.001% chance. But I like my odds if God is with me.
From the moment he told me, I was just like, okay, let's do it. Let's go for it. And I pride myself in being his #1 cheerleader.
In the beginning, Zach would plan to meet 2 fundamental goals: get in shape and learn soccer fundamentals. He would also need to document his entire journey.
Let's go. Holla, wait. Don't nobody work like me.
If I didn't share what I was doing, then I could quit in the dark and no one would know. I needed to create a point of no return. I need to juggle. I need to practice ball mastery of just doing the simplest moves. And on top of that, I needed to lose a lot of weight and get back in shape. I couldn't even bend down and touch my toes without my knee giving out. My goal was to lose 30 pounds, and I've lost 30 pounds.
The more Zach improved, the more his social media following grew, and professional teams from all over the world began to reach out.
We're freaking going to Brazil. We just got invited by a pro team in Brazil. Hey guys, I'm Zach. I'm here in Sao Paulo, Brazil, training with a pro team, Nacional Atletico Club.
And then after that, I get a call, hey, we would love for you to join our TST team, which is a huge 7-on-7 global tournament. Like ESPN airs the games. Pat McAfee is on set there doing his show. I mean, it's a really, really big deal. And we ended up making it to the Final Four.
And then the Pro USA indoor team would reach out with one simple question.
How would you feel if I added you to the roster? What? Only God can do that. That's nuts. And then I found out that they're actually going to play me. Like, oh my gosh, not only am I on the team, but they've actually planned my playing time. So I actually got to play in the game, which was shocking to me.
And just weeks later, Zach would be invited to the Major Arena Soccer League Pro Combine and Draft, where he was picked in the 3rd round by the Empire Strikers.
I get the jersey, I go up on stage, I get a picture with the commissioner. I'm like, what is happening?
What in the world? What in the world?
One of the greatest experiences of my life, like getting to really build relationships with these players, getting to start a Bible study on the team. I got to lead one of them to the Lord and baptize him in the team hot tub.
All right, we baptize you then. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Let's go!
So.
For Zach, the journey to soccer's biggest stage continues.
Hey, I'm World Cup Dad. At the end of
with God guiding him every step of the way.
The moment I stepped out in faith to believe that God wasn't done with me yet, those chains just fell off.
Joshua 1:9, go.
It's amazing to just have our strong, passionate, godly leader back that has this drive and has this fire and is healthy, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Good job, Malia Faith.
With these priorities that are just right in line, I think, with God's will. And it's inspiring. It's inspiring to me. It's inspiring to the kids. It's inspiring to so many other people that necessarily he wasn't out to inspire.
And I know people aren't supposed to do what I'm doing. I feel it's a very specific assignment for me to help people in their own lives to step out where they've let comfortability rule their hearts and instead to have faith, to trust that God really can do everything that he said he would do.
I pray you'd give us hearts today to believe.
No matter where anybody is right now in their life, I just want them to believe that it's not too late for them because of God. Because he's not done with us yet. As long as there's breath in our lungs, it's not too late for us. And I know without a doubt, this isn't about me. It's not about my family. It's to give people faith that God really is who he says he is.
Big thanks to John Pratt for producing that story. All right, some huge news coming from Liberty men's soccer. Head coach Kelly Findley announcing on Tuesday that he will be retiring from coaching at the conclusion of this season. Findley is in his 7th season leading the Flames and currently has them at a record of 5-2-2. Findley will leave coaching behind to join a movement called Coaches on Mission. Through this ministry, he'll work to encourage and equip coaches to live a life worthy of the gospel. In 25 total years as a head coach at 4 different universities, Findley has won a total of 164 games and made a difference in the lives of countless athletes.
Well before that news broke, Liberty men's soccer jumped into conference play this past weekend, hosting Southern Indiana. And Matt, this would not be close.
It would not.
Zach Lifford had himself a day. He would score the first 3 goals for the Flames, a hat trick for the senior out of Utah. Those goals, along with a second half assist, gave him a 7-point game, the most by a Liberty player since, are my eyes right? Tracer Mbuyu? Oh my goodness, in 2018, Liberty rolls to a 6-1 win, improving to 5-2-2 on the season.
Well, the calendar now says October. And while many folks get excited because that means fall weather or bonfires or pumpkin spice lattes, I get excited because it means it's almost basketball season. In fact, last week, the reigning Conference USA champs began official practices. Unlike most programs around the conference, the Flames actually bring back some key pieces. Zach Cleveland, Caden Matheny, Colin Porter, the most notable. That on-court experience, along with the success from a season ago, has this team more motivated than ever to get back to the big dance this year.
It'd be easy to say last year means nothing, but obviously it definitely gives you a sense of confidence that once you did it, you know you can do it. Especially with a core group of guys coming back, like having that experience, knowing what it takes, knowing what it feels like. That was one of the best experiences of my life. So definitely a feeling that I want to strive for it to reach again. It's like a motivation of you haven't felt it, but now it's a motivation of now I felt it, now I want to feel it again.
Well, let's stick with basketball as it's time to unveil a new segment on the show. We've introduced you to so many of the Liberty head coaches over the years. You see them on the sidelines, you hear from them at press conferences. But now we show you a different side of them as we take you into their offices. Enjoy this very first edition of Step Into My Office featuring Ritchie McKay.
Hey guys, Coach McKay here. Step into my office. First things first, because I always think like our program is our program. It's not my program. God put us here to journey together, and one of the culminations of the journey for every player, and it's an honor for a coach, is to make it to the NBA. So these are the guys that have made it to the NBA that we've coached at Liberty. Seth Curry obviously played for us for a year, has had a long, prosperous career in the league. And then Caleb Holmesley, although he's since been overseas, making a lot of money, by the way. He signed with the Wizards. Guys, next step over here, like this is the artifact that everyone comes in here and they touch, and you're not supposed to touch it. So you pull it out, it's like a real samurai. Story about this is still not finished. So Kai Yu's mentor, Adam Doniers, he presented that to me, and he said, this has something to do with mentorship and the honor of being a mentor in a young man's life. And he said, and I want to tell the story and present it to you in front of your team. Well, practice went long that day and he had to get on his flight. So I don't know the rest of the story, but it's an awfully good looking sword. So this is actually one of my pride and joys of our office. God just kind of put on my heart this word. I heard it in a message. It's an old Hebrew ritual that essentially says, if that's all that would have happened, it would have been enough. And it just speaks to the reminder, all that God has done for us. It's something that we try and remind our players of on the regular. I love this because every time I look over at it, it just reminds me of all that God has done, not only in our program, but in my life personally. Funny story about these, Danny Granger, who played for us at New Mexico, he was never content. So he transferred to us and he told me when he got to New Mexico, hey coach, I'm gonna start. And I said, Danny, I think you can too, man. You got a chance to really touch some greatness. He said, yeah, I know, but I'm gonna start from day one and I'm gonna be all conference. I said, I wouldn't put it past you, man. You're competitive, you got all this, all that. And coach, I'm gonna make it to the NBA. Don't doubt it, Danny, you got that. And in fact, when I make it to the NBA, not only am I going to start here, I'm going to start there. I said, all things are possible. And he said, and then coach, tell you what, when I make the All-Star game, I'm going to send you my All-Star jersey. And I said, well, Danny, easy now, bro. Like making the All-Star game, you need to be one of the best 25 players in the world at the time. So I get this box sent to me in the mail, and it had his All-Star game shoes. That stands for DG, Danny Granger 33. And it was Nike special edition. And sure enough, Danny was right. So I don't know what size they are, but a couple players have asked if they could wear them. They won't ever be worn again. They're going to always stay on display because he was an absolute joy to coach. When I was here the first time, someone made this for me. This is one of my life verses, John 15:5. And I just thought it was so neat to encompass it in one of my passions. I love the game of basketball and the opportunities that we get to be a part of someone's story. So this is just a reminder for me that, like, make sure I stay plugged into the vine because apart from him, we can do nothing. You guys, thanks for sharing some office time with me. Enjoy the view on your way out. I think I got one of the best views on campus. God bless.
That was cool seeing Coach McKay's office. We actually have a number of these coming up with head coaches. Some interesting items in each of their offices. We'll just say that. All right, time for Warm, Hot, and Fuego. Top player moment from the past week here in Liberty Athletics. Rhett, what do we got this week?
All right, we're going to start off here. Women's volleyball. Obviously, the men's side, we could talk about them sometime in the future.
Yeah,
but here, the women are the ones that are just getting it done right now. Jenna Ott's currently CUSA Player of the Week. Now, this is the crazy thing.
Tell me.
Liberty has had 5 straight Player of the Week awards. Like, nobody else in the conference has got one. I think it's only happened one other time in, like, conference history. That was Rice way back in the day. But let's go. Jenna right now, 9 straight matches in which she's had at least 10 kills.
Consistent.
So she is getting it done currently. A transfer that came in has been a great stabilizing force on this Liberty attack. Hit .435 over the weekend against Louisiana Tech. I'm just going to throw in a little insight into this, okay? It's a Friday. I'm there. I'm producing that first one. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, let's just see how this match goes. Like volleyball, sometimes it goes super quick. Sometimes it takes forever. And Liberty has a history this year of going 5 sets, right? All of a sudden, we're like an hour and a quarter in, hour and 15 minutes, maybe not even, and we're done. Like Liberty just said, hey,
I'll be home for dinner.
Let's have a Friday night.
Gave me a plate.
I was good about it. So yeah, great job by her. The team just continues to roll. And so far, so good in conference play. They look dominant.
Absolutely. All right, from warm now, we move on to hot.
All right, let's go to the rain here. It was a wet Saturday against ODU. Yeah. Joseph Carter, the defense, played well for Liberty at times. Joe Carter did for sure. 13 tackles to lead the team, forced a fumble. And I felt like, when they were creating turnovers the way they did the defensive side of the ball, they did everything they possibly could to give the offense a chance to put up some points and win. And Joe Carter, captain on this team, is keeping that group together. And, in a rainy game when things feels like didn't go right again for these
Spoiler
Liberty
alert,
Flames.
No offensive players on Warm Hot Fuego. Is that fair to say?
That is fair to say, unfortunately. But good job by Joseph Carter just to kind of keep the troops into it, dialed in, and gave his team a chance to win.
Yeah, Carter and Farrar, the 2 linebackers, both played very well. They were key, certainly, just keeping the Flames in it. They were in it. Heading into the fourth quarter, they were in that ball game. Just kind of the same story, different week. All right. Finally, Rhett, in Fuego.
All right, men's soccer in Fuego might have the fire, but this is another rain game.
It was a slop mess. I drove by while they were playing. I'm like, ooh.
Just kind of go honk.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, boys, I'm with you, but I'm not going to be sitting out there.
Sam Lifford, a hat trick in the opening half. That's good for him. Like Liberty Soccer, the men's team. It's fun to watch this group because, again, I'm going to say this, and I might get some angry tweets. I don't know if there is offensively talented on paper as they were a year ago, but when you add that grit element and just the focus that this team has under Kelly Findley, they're getting the job done, and they're putting some goals in the back of that. A lot of fun to watch, and the fact that he got a hattie in the opening half. Southern Indiana, I feel bad for them. It's been a rough go this season, but hey, Sam took advantage.
They sure did, and excited to see what men's soccer has been able to do, and now knowing what this is it for Kelly Finley. Right? He's finishing out this year. Yeah, we're excited to see what they can do, and hopefully they can make it a magical finish to the end of his time here with the Flames. All right, Rhett, you mentioned volleyball a moment ago. Let's talk about the ladies and their hot start to the season. They would start conference play and absolutely dominate Louisiana Tech this past weekend, sweeping both matches. LU now 14-1 overall, the best start in program history. The 14 wins, Rhett, already more than they had all of last year. Crazy. That is crazy. They're 2-0 in CUSA play. They've won 10 straight matches. Jenna Ott's named CUSA Offensive Player of the Week. Liberty players won it, as you mentioned, all 5 weeks. An incredible stat. Up next, a showdown out west as they face a UTEP squad who's 12-2. Some news now from the pool. Liberty swimming and diving all set to compete in their first season as a member of the American Conference. And the Lady Flames getting some respect in the preseason. Liberty has been picked to finish second in the league behind only Rice. The Lady Flames have won 7 straight conference championships, but that was in the CCSA and the ASUN. Now they'll see if they can continue that run in the American this season. All right, I got to be honest. Normally, I dread this final part of the show. It's where we talk about our Flames Fantasy League, but Rhett, today is different.
Yeah, America has been waiting for somebody to give Joe Yock a run for his money. Yeah. Is it actually happening?
Is it ever, Rhett? You better believe it. Team Warner on a mission. Made a few changes. Got Jarrell Farrar on the squad, Jacob Jenkins. And look at that, a 45-point week against Old Dominion, closing that gap. Now, Emily, she's still on maternity leave. Her team might be with her on some type of leave as well. They scored 3 points. But making it interesting, putting a little bit of pressure on Joe, which is what we're trying to do.
Defense wins championships, Matt.
You are absolutely right there. Hey, before we go, quickly, I want to shout out an engineer on the show, Al Stevens. This week, his 52nd work anniversary. Wow. Working here at Liberty.
Amazing.
52 years. Longer than either of us have been alive. That is crazy.
Congrats to him.
Hey, all right, we are officially out of time now. As always, Flames Central podcast. You can catch it every single week. It'll be on Thursday this next week, right after Liberty's midweek game against UTEP.
Yeah, and always go to libertyflamecentral.com for any stories that you might have missed.
For Rhett, I'm Matt. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you right back here next week.